Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Idaho Business Podcast. Hopefully you are having a fantastic day. I'm going to bring my camera down just a tad. Not that you want to see this face at all, but if you're listening to me, you don't even notice. But big deal. Let's go. Let's progress on. As always, we're sponsored by Health West. These guys are phenomenal. Google them, find where they're closest to you, and see what they can do for you and your family. We're also sponsored by one of my companies, New Clean Commercial Cleaning and Commercial Cleaning Services. Give us a call at 208-254-7070. And if we can help you anywhere from literally from Burley all the way up into the Rexburg, St. Anthony area. So if you tell us that you heard about us on the podcast, we will provide some kind of free service that's going to be catered to you and what you need. All right, people. Hopefully you had a fantastic weekend. You're able to recharge the batteries like always. We're able to just take a breath, look around you, and find what you're really grateful for. Sometimes I think we get caught up too many times and we're thinking what we're going without or what we don't have. And too many times we got to realize what is going right in our lives. You know, we might not have this or that or the nicest this or the latest that, but you know, do your kids have food on the table? Do you have your wife, your loved ones have shelter over their heads? You gotta be grateful for the things that you are grateful for. Are you enjoying health in your home? And a lot of times, guys, I have to do this for myself because we get caught up in, okay, did we hit the objectives for last quarter? And if we didn't, are we taking it upon ourselves? Like, are we beating ourselves for that? I do that. I kind of go hard on myself. Like, okay, why did this not happen for me or for my companies? So how do we double down? But it's all about finding balance. It's all about finding balance in your life so that you can enjoy the here and now and still hustle. Because if you're not here enjoying the here and now, enjoying the whole process of life, that's where people get entangled with, these hateful feelings and these not so good of feelings for themselves. And they're not able to enjoy their lives. And I've been there, I've done that. I've not enjoyed certain realms of business ownership, and it's not fun. When you go home and you take your work home with you, and sometimes you feel like you're taking it out on your kids and your family, and you're like, well, that's not fair because they don't deserve that. I should be able to leave this at the door and be like, you know what? I'm over worrying about things. I just read a stat that they said 85% of the things we worry about don't ever come to fruition at all anyways. So we overanalyze, we over worry. And that's what's going to bring us into the subject I want to talk about today. I talked about it probably years ago, but it's a big one. It's about automation. How do we automate our lives a little more and take some more stuff off our plates, and to help ourselves get better at operating our realm as leaders, as business owners. And I'm actually going to do a screen share. So if you're on the podcast, I'm going to do the best I can. Best of my ability, which I'm, me in articulating words, they don't go together, but we're gonna do the best here of explaining to you what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen, and let's rock and roll here. We are going to look at this. It's a quadrant here, and you're going to see there's 4 different boxes here, and there's from the top left box, you're going to see a box that said should do, want to do. And if you go over to the right-hand side of the upper right-hand side of the quadrant, it says another box that says should do, don't want to do. And the lower left-hand side of this quadrant is shouldn't do, want to do. And the lower right-hand side of the quadrant is shouldn't do, don't want to do. So too many times, people, we are doing too much. And we're thinking, oh, I've got to do X, Y, and Z. And, oh, I've got to go fix this equipment. Oh, I got to go train Lacey or Devin or, I've got to reprogram the computer. I've got to do this. Oh, I got to send this email out. I've got to go visit that customer. I've got to go plan that. Oh, I got that party coming up. There's so much on our plates at times, but we are horrible at delegating. And if you're not horrible, pat yourself on the back, because kudos to you. You're ahead of the curve. But for the majority of us that are like, oh, okay, I know I'm doing too much, and I get home and I try to have some time with my kids, but then I have my laptop back on my lap and I'm going a million miles an hour at night because I'm just still trying to catch up what I didn't get done that day during the night. This is for you. All right, so let's start on the first box. Okay. Well, before we do that, okay, because we're going to lean into finding the right people to help you. And if you're going to say to me, or in your head, or write me a letter, or whatever it is, tweet me even. You're wrong. This is dumb. I don't want to spend money. My company's too small. I've got to do it all. Okay, you might be right. If your company is just barely getting off the ground, yeah, you're going to have to do all of it. If you don't have any extra money at all. But most of you I'm going to have to prove you wrong. So there's the thing out there I've mentioned to you over and over again. There's assistants out there called virtual assistants. And there's also just a lot of local people, because I want to make sure local people get jobs, because we're here to support the local economy, that are talented individuals, but they maybe only just want some local, obviously local, but they just want some part-time hours, and they can still work remote. Too many of us think, and I know I'm getting to this, to the quadrant thing here in a minute, but too many of us think, oh, if I have to bring someone on to help me, they've got to be full-time, and I can't afford anyone full-time. No, that's not true. I have probably 3 or 4 people that work for me that are just part-time, and they have a salary that they know they work literally. I have some that are only 5 hours a week they work for me, and it works great for them because they can do majority of it remote, and a couple hours a week they come into the office and do a few things, and it works great for them. So don't think that, oh, I have to have it in my budget to have someone full-time. Not only is that incorrect, but that's not the most efficient thing to do, because then you're creating a jack of all trades type of person. And that's never the right thing to do. Speaking from experience, then you're overwhelming one person. And then when that person does end up leaving, then you are filling a huge gap of responsibilities and chores and tasks that you now have to divvy up to other people, or you take it on all yourself, where you can, instead of that, you can, take thin slices. Take a pizza, or different slices of that, and you're giving that slice to this person, these couple slices to that person. So they know there's certain expertise areas of what they're covering and what they're handling. Okay, so let's go forward. So this is I did this it's probably been 4 or 5 years ago since I did it. No, it's probably 6 years ago since I've done this. This is with my consultant years ago in Las Vegas, in a consultant meeting we were at. They had us do this quadrant, and so this is stuff that I wrote down that many years ago. So it'll be interesting to see what's in my quadrants from that many years ago. So in the should do, want to do category, this is the stuff that you should be doing, for sure. Okay. And obviously the top 2 ones are should do and should do, but the difference is the left one is should do, want to do. The right one is should do, don't want to do. Okay. we'll see how it compares now. So should do, want to do. I currently have visit customers, surprise and delights. We do the different gifts and fun things for them, parties, instilling culture, and obviously doing this podcast. You still see me doing that today. Like it or love it, I'm here. So yeah, I still enjoy visiting with customers. I still do that. I don't do that the majority of the time. We have a director of client happiness that's her main job, is visiting customers and taking care of their needs, because that's become kind of almost a full-time gig, is making sure our customers are happy and things are being taken care of that way. So yeah, I've taken that off my plate. Even the surprise and delight, she's taking care of most of that. Parties, I go to those because I enjoy partying with my employees and customers, but I don't plan them. Instilling culture, you better believe I do that. Podcasts, I'm still doing that for sure. So yeah, those have changed a little bit. I've taken some of them off. So let's go over to the should do, don't want to do. Emails and box time and track. So emails, I do to an extent. I actually have a virtual assistant that went through and goes through my emails for me, and things that she can handle, things that obviously are sent to me that need to be forwarded on to, someone like our director of client happiness or our staff manager or whoever it needs to be. She just forwards it on and takes care of that for me. Then she has different folders like, hey, requires my attention. So I have to just click into that folder, and everything I need to look at personally is just in that folder. So it has dramatically helped keep me efficient in checking my emails, because, right now I have like 3 or 4 emails I've got to be, checking on a daily, a couple times a day. And it makes it really nice that it's all dialed in that way. So yes, I do that, but I don't do that really. She can respond as well to some emails that are just like, hey, asking a simple question. She'll like, hey, this is Spencer, Spencer's assistant, Jennifer. Da, 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 da. And you know what? I'm going to have her on the podcast here soon, and she's going to talk about some of the stuff she does for me, because I think that'd be a fun episode. Box time and track time. I should do. I definitely don't like to do this, but I should definitely do this. And that's always going to stay right there. There's times that I'm like, man, what did I even accomplish this week? If you ever find yourself doing that, you need to be boxing your time and tracking your time. Okay. Half an hour increments or an hour increments, and planning what you're doing for the upcoming day. And then when that day happens, you track what did I actually do? And that helps you. And then the things you didn't get done, roll over to the following day. And that'll help you be more efficient with your time and actually know exactly what you're doing. Let's go down to shouldn't do, want to do. So these are the things obviously I shouldn't be doing, but I wanted to do back in the day. Getting supplies. I think back in the day, I still do. I still have a good relationship with my supply company. They're great people, and I still enjoy talking with them. But I shouldn't do that, because that would take a decent chunk of every week of my time away, and me divvying up all the supplies for our different locations. That would take some time. Repairing equipment, no, that's definitely not something I want to do anymore. We have too many equipment, too many things to be going wrong. Things are always like to break down, and I have someone that takes care of supplies for me now and equipment. And that's just a weekly thing. He comes in and takes care of both those things on a weekly basis for us. Floor jobs. I still do those once in a while. I still go in. I train people once in a while. I do now have people trained up so they can train other people. But once in a while, I still like to go to those because it's fun. I like to do strip and wax jobs, and that kind of thing. Because honestly, I feel like sometimes I need some of that manual labor in my life, and having that immediate gratification, I think for me is it goes a long ways. And now let's move on to the shouldn't do, don't want to do. So this category, I shouldn't be doing any of this stuff going like in this box, because I shouldn't be doing it, and I don't want to be doing it. Bookkeeping, haven't done that. since the beginning of my company. I've hired that out. Number one, because I know I would hate that. I hate doing that kind of stuff. I know it would never get done because I hate it so bad. Accounts receivables, accounts payables, don't do that. Operations, I do some of that still. But then I have other people that help me take a lot of that off my plate still. Setting up accounts, don't do that anymore. Invoicing, don't do that. Hiring and firing, don't do that. Unless it's like, upper management. I have to take care of that kind of stuff here and there. Customer phone calls. I still do that at times, but for the most part, the majority of those don't go to me. They go to the director of client happiness. Onboarding new employees, don't do that. Employee operation phone calls, don't do those. Even though my employees know that they can call me during the day, they know I'm open, and I always want them to know, like, they can call me. But they also know the person who's going to get closer to their answers immediately is going to be our staff manager. So they call that person first, and she takes care of them. She's been fantastic at that. So if you are wondering if you're doing all that you can do, or you're thinking there's not, I need more hours in the day to get everything done. You need to be breaking your tasks down into these quadrants. And it's as simple as this, guys. The top two, the top two ones, the should do, want to do, and the should do, don't want to do. You should be looking at those closer. If any of those fall into the bottom categories, the shouldn't do, want to do, and the shouldn't do, don't want to do, you need to be finding those are the ones that immediately you need to be offboarding onto other people, offloading. But like I said, on this point 4, we don't ever want to mold a person to fit a job, but find the right person to fit that job. Okay, there's such of a thing as right person, right job, and then wrong person, wrong position, and then there's even a right person, wrong job. So you got to remember that you can have great people in your industry, in your company, but they might not be good at a certain position in your company, but they might thrive in another position in your company. So you got to remember that just because they're not doing well in one position, maybe that's your fault because you wanted to shoehorn them into that position and it wasn't meant for them. So that's something you've got to be thinking of as you are going forward, as you're thinking, okay, how do I displace some of this off of me and making my life easier so I can have more time for my loved ones, more time for hanging out with my friends. If I do want to go grab a game of golf every week while the weather's nice at the end of the week in the afternoons, I have time to do that. You and give yourself the ability and freedom to allow yourself to do that and not to make yourself feel bad. Like, oh, I should be out there working. I should be doing this and this and this. No, then that doesn't help you. It just brings you down. You got to control your emotions because we all have a story to write and we're the author of that story. And I'm telling you, when I'm pointing at you, I've got 4 fingers pointed back at me because I've done this too many times. I've been out, I feel like I'm playing hooky. Maybe I'm playing golf in an afternoon. I'm like, and I find myself, I should be working. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. But in reality, I should be thinking, you know what? I built a good company. I have great people working for me. I should allow myself to blow off a little steam and just enjoy my environment, enjoy my friends. I'm not doing this every day, but if I wanted to, you can track your time and allow yourself to go on a golf spree every day if you want to. Track your time so you can get the stuff done before and after, or whatever, how you want to plan it. Do what you want to do, but keep yourself efficient so you feel like you're still accomplishing things. Right? That's important, guys and gals. So go out there, be excellent at what you're doing. And I mean, even excellent at playing and enjoy yourself. Give yourself that ability and freedom to be able to do that and thoroughly enjoy being out and off of your business. So hopefully this has helped you a little bit today. But as always, be happy, be grateful, and find opportunities to serve others. Go out there and dominate this week. And adios.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.